The sun blazed low in the California sky, casting golden reflections off the sleek glass walls of a Beverly Hills mansion. Birds chirped in the manicured trees, and a faint breeze swayed the lavender blooms lining the cobblestone path. It was a perfect Sunday afternoon, idyllic, effortless, the kind of day you'd expect in a life where nothing ever goes wrong. But for Jack Remington, billionaire tech mogul and the man behind one of Silicon Valley's biggest AI companies, something had been wrong for a very long time. On the surface, Jack had everything. Private jets. A Malibu beachfront villa. Stock options worth more than most small countries' GDPs. But in his chest, there was a silence. The kind of silence that wealth couldn't fill, the kind of ache that echoed in empty rooms and award ceremonies. He had lost his mother to cancer 2 years ago. His brother had stopped speaking to him over a bitter legal dispute. His longest romantic relationship had lasted 7 months. And although his face appeared on Forbes covers and financial talk shows, Jack hadn't had a real, unguarded conversation in over a year. So, when he strolled into the open house that Sunday, no appointment, no assistant trailing behind, just him and his dark sunglasses, it wasn't to buy another property. It was to breathe. The house wasn't even listed as luxury by his standards. A modest 2-story colonial revival with ivy creeping along the white paneling, nestled in an old Pasadena neighborhood. Charming, but outdated. It reminded him of simpler days, before boardrooms and billion-dollar contracts, when his mother used to drag him through open houses for fun, telling him, "A home speaks to you, Jack. Listen carefully." He missed her. Jack had just stepped onto the oak wood floors when he heard a voice, not sleazy, not scripted, but soft and warm, like rain tapping on a window. "Welcome in. Make yourself at home." He turned and saw her. She wasn't dressed like the other realtors he'd encountered, no designer heels, no aggressive perfume. Just a button-down blouse tucked into simple slacks, her hair pulled back in a loose braid. She stood barefoot on the carpet, holding a tray with paper cups and lemonade. "I'm sorry," he said, removing his sunglasses. "Didn't mean to interrupt." "You didn't." The door was open. "That's the point, right?" She smiled, not the kind of smile that wanted to sell you something, but the kind that invited you to sit down and rest. "I'm Lily," she said, extending her hand. "Lily Torres." "Jack," he replied, shaking it gently. "Jack Rem." He stopped short. For once, he didn't want to be Jack Remington, tech titan. Just Jack. "Nice to meet you, Jack," she said, not recognizing him. "Want some lemonade? It's fresh. From real lemons, not the bottled stuff." He chuckled. "I haven't had lemonade in years." "Well, then you're overdue." As the other visitors trickled in and out, families murmuring about square footage, couples discussing light fixtures, Jack found himself lingering. Lily gave short, warm tours, answering questions with honesty. She didn't try to upsell. She didn't use phrases like investment potential or high ROI. Instead, she told stories. Stories about the couple who lived there for 40 years. About the porch swing and the Christmas wreaths and how the neighbor's dog always ran through the yard like it belonged. She made the house feel human. They ended up in the backyard. A small patch of green with an old maple tree in the center. Beneath it was a weathered bench. "You sit," she said, nodding toward the bench. "You look like someone who could use 5 minutes." He hesitated, then did. She joined him, pulling off her flats and crossing her legs under her. "So," she asked, sipping her lemonade, "what brings you here, Jack? Looking for a home?" He considered lying. Saying something simple like, "just browsing." But something in her tone, earnest, open, made honesty feel safe. "I'm not sure," he admitted. "I think I'm just looking." "Sometimes that's when we find the best things," she said. They talked for over an hour. About nothing and everything. Lily spoke about how she'd started real estate after quitting her job as a hospice nurse. How she believed homes weren't just walls and roofs, they were stages for the soul. She never once asked what he did for a living. When he finally stood to leave, the sky was tinged orange, and the house was empty again. "Thank you," he said. "For what?" "For reminding me what warmth feels like." Her eyes softened. "You're always welcome here." That night, Jack couldn't sleep. For the first time in months, his mind wasn't racing with numbers or strategies. It lingered on a voice. On a smile. On lemonade. The next day, he showed up again. This time, she wasn't hosting. She was sweeping the porch, earbuds in, humming softly. Her eyes lit up when she saw him. "Back so soon?" "I forgot to ask," he said, "what the asking price is." She raised an eyebrow. "You want to buy it?" "Maybe," he said. "Maybe I want something more than square footage." Over the next few weeks, Jack returned often, not always to see the house, but always to see Lily. He helped her carry boxes, brought her coffee, listened to her stories about clients and aging houses with character. They grew close. Closer than he had with anyone in years. One day, they were laughing over coffee in the empty dining room when her phone buzzed. She excused herself, stepping outside. Jack glanced at the screen. Mom's labs came back. "It's stage 4. His chest tightened. When she returned, her eyes were glassy, but her smile remained. "Everything okay?" he asked gently. She nodded too quickly. "Yeah. Just, life things." He didn't push. But he didn't forget. The next morning, Jack called his assistant and canceled all meetings. Then he made a few quiet phone calls, to the best oncologist in LA, to a private treatment center, to a charity he had quietly funded. That afternoon, he returned to Lily. She was still trying to hide her fear, still pouring lemonade for strangers, still showing up. "I know," he said gently. Her eyes widened. "You know. I saw the message." Tears slipped down her cheeks. "I didn't mean for you to." He stepped forward, holding her hands. "You've spent your life showing homes. Making people feel safe. Let me do the same for you." "I can't afford." "This isn't about money," he whispered. "This is about gratitude." Over the months that followed, Jack made good on his promise. Lily's mother was transferred to the best care possible. Jack remained by Lily's side, through hospital visits, late-night grief, laughter in the waiting rooms. Their bond deepened, not built on wealth, but on presence. When Lily's mother passed away peacefully one autumn morning, Lily wept in Jack's arms. And as he held her, he realized something. She had saved him first. She had reminded him how to feel. How to care. How to love. 1 year later, under the same old maple tree in that quiet backyard, Jack knelt on one knee. Not with $1 million ring. Not with cameras or fanfare. Just a simple gold band and a heart full of truth. "Lily Torres," he said, voice trembling, "you didn't know who I was when we met. And you didn't care. You saw the man, not the money. You taught me that homes aren't just places, they're people. You became mine. Will you marry me?" She blinked back tears, nodded, and whispered, "Yes." They didn't buy the mansion in Beverly Hills. They bought the little colonial revival in Pasadena, the one with ivy on the walls and a bench under the maple tree. And every Sunday, they made lemonade from real lemons. Because sometimes, the richest life isn't the one with the biggest bank account. It's the one where love walks in through an open door, and stays.